I've been out of the country all week, and every person I speak to at home is freaked the F out. So if you also feel that loss of control creeping up in your spirit, pour yourself a cup of chamomile tea, hang out with your good sis, and we're going to discuss 5 ways to stay in control when it seems like the world is on fire. But take my word for it, it's not, because I'm in Mexico right now and everything's all good. So if this is your first time coming to this channel, welcome. Hola. Hola, chocolatitos. Hey, Milk Chocolate, I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first time, make sure you say hi back. I know your mama raised you right, so do what you need to do. And if you're watching this in the future, hey, Milk Chocolate in the future, you can say hi too. My name is Angela Billups, aka Health Coach for the Culture. And on this channel, we help Black women heal themselves and fire their doctors ASAP by combating the diseases that disproportionately affect our culture, like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, inflammation, and other manifestations of stress. And we do that with culturally inclusive nutrition, herbs, and ancestral wisdom. If any of that sounds like your cup of tea, then make sure you hit like and subscribe. And better than that, share this with a sis who needs to keep a grip on life too. So let's get into this. When I tell you everybody that I've talked to has been freaking out, they want to hear about my trip. They want to know all the things I'm doing and what I'm finding out, how life is here down in Mexico. And as soon as I tell them, it never fails. The next sentence out their mouth is something about all the chaos that's happening at home. And I want to say this. I'm from the DC area, and there are a lot of federal workers there. So, first and foremost, I also am concerned for the people that I know and that I care about and for their well being and their livelihoods. And besides that, I have empathy for the people I don't know. This is a terrible situation to be in. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So, I want to put that out there. What we're going to discuss is not, act like nothing is happening. That's not it. But even though we may have concern for people and concern for the direction things are going in, period, taking on stress more than what you already have for your own life is not helpful to you or anybody else. And Black women, you need to heal. So we have to learn how to be better about monitoring exactly what we're going to engage our energy in, right? Does that make sense? Like I said, everybody at home has got something going on either with themselves or someone they know. And so I get it. These are concerning times. But what I don't want us to do is get so caught up in the theatrics and the distraction and the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Because when I tell you down here, everybody's going on like normal everyday lives, even though they may have concerns back in the US, what's happening there is not happening everywhere. So the world is not on fire. It's going to be okay. You may need to make some changes. There may be some challenges, but we can survive this, right? Okay. Like I said, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can stay in control and keep a grip on life. So, number one, I am consulting my notes because I don't want to get off topic. It's very easy for me to do. All right. Number one, we need to set boundaries. Okay. I mentioned that everyone at home has something to say. I'm down here, I have no screens, there's no TV. So aside from my phone and my computer, which I have barely been on this week, there's no screens. And I'm telling you, I don't have a lot of screens. I have one TV in my house, and apparently I've been watching that too much, even though I don't watch it a lot. But not having any screens, whew, this is just being a freeing experience, all right? So set boundaries. I remember in church, my pastor used to say, you got to guard the gates. You got to guard the gates. You got to guard the eye gates. You got to guard the ear gates, and you got to guard the mouth gate, right? You do have to be careful of what you are looking at, right? What are you paying attention to through your eyes? Are you taking in information that's going to add to the anxiety and add to the stress? Because if you are, we got to set boundaries around that, right? I'm not saying not to be informed, but if you're noticing that there's certain places you get information from that get you riled up more than others, then maybe we need to put those to the side and find some other ways of getting information or decreasing the amount of information so that you are not setting yourself up to be stuck in a cycle of stress, right? We're combating the high blood pressure and the manifestations of stress. So we have to do the part that we can do. The next gate, the ear gate, what are you listening to? I'll say the same thing and take it a step further, who are you listening to? These are my loved ones that I'm talking to, and I slap the boundaries on them quick. Not because I don't love them and not because I'm not concerned about their concerns, but because I have found peace. I have found rest, and I need to do what I can do to protect that, especially because this is only for a short time. I have to come back. So I have to put boundaries on them when they start in with what's going on. Either I let them talk and tune myself out, or I change the conversation quickly. So however that's gonna work for you, pay attention to what you're hearing and from whom, and do what you need to do so that you can protect your peace. And of course, the third gate is your mouth. You may need to protect yourself from you. Yes, you may need to set a boundary on what you're allowing yourself to say out loud. Because as you say things and your subconscious hears them, you start to believe them. So we have to watch what we're saying as well. That's number one. Set your boundaries and protect those gates. Number two, pay attention to your mindset. I just talked about other people and how I have to set boundaries on them. I did talk about what we say, but what is your mindset? Like, how are you approaching all of these things that's coming at you, left, front, center, all of that? What is your mindset? Are you staying optimistic? Are you being positive? Or are you doom and gloom? Are you letting the distraction do what it's supposed to do and affect your own mindset? When I coach people about behavior change, we talk about something called a cognitive triangle. That is, your thoughts affect your feelings, and your feelings affect your actions. So, your mindset is the most important thing that you can protect because it is setting the foundation for everything that comes after. If you want to be continuing to be in good action and taking steps toward progress, then you have to look at your feelings and you have to look at your thoughts. So, make sure that you are in the right mindset. And if you aren't, this is where community comes in. This is where coaching comes in. You want to be able to find people who have the mindset that you want. If you continue to stay around people with your same mindset or even a worse mindset, how will you do any better? You can't. That's the next thing. Look at your mindset and get it right. The third thing, and especially now, this is so important, avoid catastrophizing. Yes, the news is not great, okay? First to admit it. But sometimes we have the habit of hearing a thing and taking it as far down the worst road it can possibly go. When in life, the truth is there are many different branches before we get to the worst possible outcome. But in our mind, that's where we go. It could be a protective mechanism, it could be something you learned as a child, it could be results of trauma. But you need to be able to catch yourself and know when you're doing. Catastrophizing is simply imagining the worst possible outcome. And you know who you are, those of you who do that. So we need to avoid catastrophizing. And when those negative thoughts come in, right, when we're going there, I want you to try this. I want you to try to reframe those thoughts. What do I mean by reframe? I want you to think, okay, this is the worst possible scenario, yes, but what is a different scenario that could have a positive outcome? And I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your ass. Let me be clear, right? I know people are looking at some huge challenges right now, but in the instance of maybe you are going to be pushed out of your comfort zone to either have to find something new to do or take a different position, whatever the case may be, you could reframe this as instead of it being the worst possible thing that ever happened to you, perhaps this is a push. This is universe. This is God telling me that this is the time for me to do that thing that I've always thought I wanted to do, but have been too comfortable to really test it out and see if I would succeed in doing it. The thing that you've been letting fear hold you back from, or just the fact that you've got everything handled in a way that you're comfortable with, now you may be getting pushed out of that comfort zone because there's something bigger and better waiting for you. That is a real possibility. It is a real thought to have. So you don't have to choose the negative one. We can reframe and think something positive. It's happened to me before without all this chaos. I've been laid off before, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, down the road, and not that far down the road either. So try reframing because if nothing else, it's going to help with the anxiety. It's going to help with the stress. It's going to help you not get caught up in that cycle. All right. Number four, this goes along with what I just said about avoid catastrophizing. You want to lean into the challenges, the very things that you are thinking about the worst outcome for, lean into the challenges that they're presenting and do not avoid them. Avoidance is something that's very common when we get stressed out and the anxiety is all over the place. And in fact, it sets us up for more stress and anxiety. You may be missing out on the opportunity that's right in front of you because you're avoiding dealing with the challenge that will actually get you there. So we're not going to avoid, we're going to look things head on and we're going to make a plan. And if you don't know how to do that on your own, then stay tuned to the end of this. I'm going to give you a resource that's going to help you. Number 5, this is something I love to tell my clients, and they always look at me like I'm crazy. Sometimes they say, when you can't beat them, then join them. That's what we're going to do a little bit. I'm giving you permission, sis, to schedule worry time. Because here's the thing, if I tell you not to worry, you're going to do it anyway. You're human, it's human nature, and that's fine. But what we're not going to do is stay in a constant state of worry. That is not helping anybody. It is definitely not helping you heal. It's not helping you get in control of your stress. So, what you're going to do is you're going to set a timer or you're going to schedule a time, like I said, and you got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to worry about whatever it is you think is important enough for you to put your energy into worrying about. Or you can just schedule this time from 10 a.m. to 10:05. I get to worry. And then at 10:05, or when that 5 minute timer goes off, that's it. No more catastrophizing, no more avoidance, no more worrying. You're going to stay in control of what you have control of because that's really what this is all about. We have to remain in our locus of control. There's a lot of things happening that we can't do anything about. Not now. So we have to control what we can control. And because this is about your health, controlling what you think about, controlling how you spend your energy, controlling how much you stress yourself, is definitely something that you can handle, right? It's something that's up to you. So those are the 5 ways. Let's review because I want them to stick. Number 1, set your boundaries, protect the gates, eyes, ears, mouth. Number 2, pay attention to your mindset. Remember the cognitive triangle. How you think affects how you feel, which affects what you do. Number 3, no more catastrophizing. We're not going to the worst outcome straight away. There are other things that could happen, and we're going to do what we can do to not get to the worst part. Number 4, lean into challenges. Avoiding makes things worse. Avoiding delays, procrastinates, and you could be missing out on the opportunities that are right in front of you if you just face that challenge head on. And last but not least, schedule your worry time. 5 minutes. That's what you get. 5 minutes to let it all out. And then for the rest of the day, for the rest of the night, we're on positivity. Okay. Those are the 5 ways. Now, I did mention earlier that I would give you a resource, and I'm going to invite you to join the newsletter list, right? I'm going to put the links right there. Join the newsletter list and get tips like these sent directly to your inbox and accountability also, right? Accountability for you to keep presenting your best self and moving yourself forward. I listen, these are the things that I would say to my friends and family that have been doing all those things I just told you about, that have been catastrophizing, that have been, their cognitive triangle is negative, 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 negative. This is what I would say to them, but they don't watch the channel. So I'm saying it to you because I want to help you avoid those behaviors and I want you to thrive. I want you to flourish because it is possible. More than anything, I want you to heal. So until next time, adios.